Hello. Another Sunday.
Another Sunday. It doesn't seem 2 minutes that we were chatting with Ian.
No, it doesn't. It's it's come around quick this week.
Yeah, it's been, well, in this household, a heck of a weekend, as I was explaining to you, Kev. Before, came on.
You've had a bit of a weekend this week.
Oh. Youngest is ended up in A&E, 10 stitches in his leg later, waiting 2 hours for an ambulance to turn up. And yeah. And then we do have a stair lift in this household, but that broke down today.
Yeah. So it's all been, it's not been a good weekend.
No. And then yesterday I had to do all my videos, which was 6 of them, all recorded, uploaded, edited, you name it. Yeah. So it's been an eventful weekend. And then next weekend's Father's Day. So,
Yeah, next weekend's Father's Day. I don't know what's going on with that day yet. Too early to decide what's happening then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a bit of for me, it's been a bit of an uneventful weekend, unlike yourself. Just sort of catching up on a few things. But yeah, it's been a bit uneventful in the world of Partworks, and this weekend has been not too much going on.
Nothing to report on this week in the world of Partworks. Everything has been quiet as anything, even on the different countries. There's been nothing really released or tested or anything like that.
Yeah, it's going to be maybe it's the calm before the storm, because go on.
I think it's the summertime. Not many people are signing up.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the companies might be thinking, right, we'll wait for these to finish and then we can start bringing out new stuff. So.
Yeah. As I reported on my post, if you follow me on social, but I also put it on the YouTube as well, is I've put it as the summer of finishes, because the Tumbler finishes in 2 weeks. Next month, Optimus Prime finishes. In August, we've got the Skyline finishes. And then, obviously, in September, the 66 Batmobile finishes. So we've got quite a lot finishing every month. So, yeah.
I mean, I've just got 2 finishes this year, which is the Optimus Prime and the Titanic. So, yeah, I've got 2 finishes this year. And I haven't got any plans to replace them with anything that's currently out there. So
yeah, and I have to say the same. Also, as well, RoboCop behind me, that finishes in October. But as it stands right now, I've got no plans to replace any of the builds that are finishing.
There's nothing out there that takes my fancy at the moment.
No.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. There's nothing that's available right now where I'm going, I want to put money down on that. I want to get that. There is something that's caught my eye that I'm going to get as a full build, but I'll explain more when I get it. But yeah, there's nothing really out at the minute. There is stuff coming out that sort of tweaks my interest.
Yeah,
but nothing's come out yet. So as it stands, no, I haven't got any plans at the minute to replace the builds that I've been building. I don't think I'm going to do as many builds as I've been doing on the channel going forward. But we'll see what goes on. But at the moment, it's a lot to do with space and budget and everything else. So it all sort of comes into it. But yes, there's nothing at the moment sort of tweaking my interest.
No, I'm the same. There's nothing currently that I want. Oh, well, as soon as the Optimus Prime finishes, I'm signing up for that. There's nothing. Yeah. So, and nothing really coming up that, that's been announced that really is like, I want to do.
I like my figurine build. So I've got my eye on the Lynch King, but I'm surprised that hasn't been released yet, but it is coming. So I'll have to have a look at that when it comes out. I was looking at maybe getting that one because, like I said, I like my figure builds, so it sort of fits in with what I like as well. But yeah, nothing's really sort of going get me and all that sort of stuff. it's surprising, really, because even the Darth Vader I've been looking sort of, I'm in an R in a little bit over, but there's nothing there that's sort of going, yeah, get this quick or anything. At the moment, it might change, but at the moment, there's nothing on the market that's wanting me to put money down.
You know, I can see a caption of this being made, Kev, of us saying this, and then, ooh, new build.
Yeah. Well, I said before we come on, you know, if they do, you know, if a company brings out Johnny 5, I would be over that. Like, you know, flies round poo poo. And if they done Ed 209 as well, those two builds are absolute must for me. Absolute. And obviously, if they done another Star Trek build, you know, it could be anything, you know, Voyager or the Defiant or the Enterprise A or the Refit or anything like that, I would jump at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment, everything that's on the market at the moment, nothing's sort of grabbing my attention and sort of get this. Nothing at the moment. I don't know why. Yeah. Maybe it's just because there's so much available right now.
Yeah.
That it's hard to sort of pick. I don't know, but yeah, nothing's really sort of taking my fancy. There's a lot of nice builds out, but none of them like where I'm going, oh, I'm getting that. You know? So yeah.
Right, well, we'll go through some chat and see what everybody's saying. And yeah, if anybody's got any ideas for builds, possibly.
Yeah, well, I do know I will be doing. I'm going this week to look at some baseboards, and I've ordered some stuff from Hornby. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm going to start a little diary on me building a layout from a train set. So that should be going soon, I'm hoping. So that could replace stuff. So
yeah. Okay, so we'll start with chat. So 3:27 p.m. yesterday. We've got Steve131 who says afternoon all. So good afternoon, Steve.
Afternoon, Steve. Yesterday.
And then at 5:21 we've got D Harris with a good evening, Mark and Kev. And then he says a good evening all on Kev's side. So good evening, D.
Hi, D.
Then at 10:08 last night, we got Flip Dip with good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So good evening, Flip Dip.
Evening, Flip Dip.
Says, with the Orca bill coming out, there is a great new documentary on Prime about the filming of Jaws with Spielberg interviews, as well as Richard Dreyfuss and loads of others.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he also says, also for all you Titanic fans, there is a new Netflix documentary coming out Wednesday on the doomed Ocean Gate sub. Looks interesting.
Yeah, the one that imploded.
Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of that. I kind of know a lot of it already because it's all over YouTube.
Yeah,
really, on Facebook. So first thing this evening, we've got Spider Sprue who says hi, Mark. So hi, Spider Sprue.
Hi, Spider Sprue.
And then he says hop, hi, Kev. So good evening. Next in, we've got David Phillips who says evening, gents. Good evening, David. Welcome.
Evening, David.
And then we've got Will's Workshop who says good evening all on Mark's side. So good evening, Will. And then he also says, and good evening all on Kev's side. Don't forget those likes.
Cheers, Will. Good evening.
Yeah. Then we've got David Hawley who says, a very good evening, Kev and Mark and all. Let's have a good one. Definitely.
Definitely. Cheers, David.
Yeah. Then we've got Dave Matt Bills who says, good evening, Mark and Kev. It's Sunday again. Have a great stream. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
I tell you the truth, after the weekend we've gone through, I will be glad when the weekend's over. And
over, yeah.
Tomorrow. Even though the youngest is now going to be off college for a week or so because he can't hardly walk.
Yeah.
So, you want to know the worst thing is? He was the kid, grew up, that would never risk anything. The eldest would jump from the top bunk of the bed, holding onto the curtain, thinking it's a rope swing. The youngest would never do anything that would be remotely dangerous, but yet he's topped us all by having this accident. So it's the quiet ones you've got to look out for, isn't it?
Well, our youngest, Sophie, she's the most accident prone out of the two girls.
Right.
When they were little. She was always hurting herself. I don't know why. Falling off a scooter or tripping over or something like that.
So we've got Andy Carolyn who says, hi, Mark and Kev. Hope you guys have a great week. Hello to all in chat. Mark, by the way, there is an LED board for the chest plate in issue 11, so you don't need to mod it. Thank you, Andy. I actually noticed that today because I got my next lot of Darth Vader yesterday. But because I was having to get 6 recordings done in one day, I never got to open the parts. And then I checked them today and I realized, oh, well, I mean, modding it, it's not going to work because it's not going to be needed. So, yeah, but thank you for that, Andy. We've got Ian's World of Models who says, evening, Mark and Kev. Hope you're both well. Good evening, Ian. Welcome.
Good evening. Evening, Ian.
Yeah, as good as can be expected. We've got Ian Campbell in who says, a very good evening, all. Good evening, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Really good fun last week with Ian on.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
And the auction.
Yeah, that went really well.
Yeah. We've got Stephen Hayes Models in who says, hi, Mark and Kev. So good evening, Stephen. Welcome.
Hi, Stephen.
I have starred these. And then Ian says, hi, Mark and Kev. We've got Steve Edmonds in who says, hello, all. Hello, Steve. Welcome.
Hi, Steve.
And Ian says, really enjoyed last week and the chat after. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice catch up.
It was, yeah.
Ian says, oh my God, Mark. Yeah.
Bit of a weekend.
It can only happen in this household. That, you know, he has an accident like that. 2 hours waiting for an ambulance, finally gets to hospital, 10 stitches, and then the one thing that we need the most, the chairlift to get him up and down the stairs, breaks down today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy coming to fix it, turns around and says, I can't fix it till tomorrow.
One of them things.
One of them days.
One of them days,
yeah. Ian says, Father's Day, I expect breakfast in bed and then a long sleep until the Monday. The thing about it is, I won't get that because I'm normally the earliest person up on a Sunday. So
yeah, I always get up early and walk the dogs. So
yeah,
I'm up early anyway.
Ken Fairclough asks, any news on the 1.6 Hachette DB5? Not really heard anything about that at all, and I would have thought something like that would have been released by now. It's been a while. I mean, that was last year. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's normally about 12 months, isn't it? 18 months. So it could still come out. It's probably the build that's going to replace the Tumbler.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised nothing has come out because normally what they do is they release something about a month before a build is going to finish to sort of tie you over sort of thing, but nothing has come out at all. So
I've noticed a lot with the Hachette trials, if they are going to full builds, they have been going from test to full builds quite quickly. So that's why I'm surprised we haven't really heard anything on that. But we do know tests don't actually make it to full builds.
Yes. Yeah. So it could be it's going to come out later this year, or it could never come out.
Yeah.
We just have to wait and see. But maybe it might be one of the Christmas builds because they like bringing one up just after Christmas, as we've seen with the Dalek build. And the Tumbler build as well. I think that was after Christmas.
It could be. So, I mean, I know the Disney Doll's House and the Titanic were just after Christmas builds.
Yeah.
So it just depends, but I've not really heard anything on that DB5 from Hachette.
No.
So whether they can't license it or there wasn't enough interest, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We've got Jeff Lighting who says, a very good evening, guys. Good evening, Jeff. Welcome.
Yeah.
And David Hawley says, Kev, you had the Dalek to crack on with.
I've done it this week.
I'm going to say I saw it.
Yeah, I've done it this week. Next week there's nothing.
It's done the typical slow down part work.
Oh yeah, it's gone very, very slow. But yeah, you get another part that you just stick on, and another 2 parts that you screw together, but you don't put together, if you know what I mean. Don't put them on yet. Yeah. There's not a lot in the next issue.
We've got John's Model Making in who says, evening gents and all in chat. He says, I'm sure the 66 Batmobile finishes in November if you are getting 6 per month.
We're on issue 80, I do believe. I can't remember the last one I did. So
I wouldn't know. I'm not building it.
I can't remember what issue we're on.
Hang on.
Because I think it's 110 issues, isn't it?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not building it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Because
Batmobile, you did issues 82 to 83.
Yeah,
No, sorry, 84 to 86.
Yeah. I think it's only 110 issues.
Right, so that was pack 16 you did.
Yeah, 100. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You might be right. 21, 22, 24. Yeah, it might be November. I might have got it mixed up. I'm sure I did the maths, but I might not have done it properly. But I think it's only 110 issues, and we get the same amount as we do with the Skyline, and we're around the same sort of numbers.
I think I've learned with Fan Home is you can never really predict when the build is going to finish, because if the delays or shipping problems or stock problems or anything like that, they could finish. I mean, I think shouldn't the Gauntlet should have finished by now, shouldn't it? And that still is not done.
I think the Gauntlet has finished, but they're still waiting for that part that was getting redone. I think it's issue 70 or something.
Yeah. So yeah, it can be any time. We've got Amber Emin who says, I'm very impatiently waiting for the Lynch King to go live on Fan Home.
Yeah, I've been looking at that one as well, so I may do that one on the channel.
Yeah, looks interesting, but just not for me because I've never played World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know where to start.
It was a big thing for me back in the
We've got Burgess in who says, good evening all. Good evening, Burgess. Welcome. And Ian's World of Models says, the only new build at the moment for me is the Orca. But the thing about it is I don't know when that's going to be coming, because there's been no news on the James Bond cars. No, it does. I did check their website and it does say released in, it does say coming in 2025. Yeah. And obviously, you know, it doesn't tell you when, so it could be Christmas time. It could be just before then, could be the end, like towards the end of the year, maybe. That they get released, but I'm surprised they haven't already, because it's been announced for quite some time. So yeah, that has been on the website a while. So strange that hasn't made any, no announcements on them yet. Yeah. Amber M says, I've got ET, which is almost done, 5 boxes left. Optimus will be done this year, and I also have the Mustang Eleanor, which I think has about 20 boxes or so left due to delays. See, that's what I'm on about. You just never know with delays when you're going to finish them. Yeah, it pushes them back. And you've got to think as well, I think some of the builds have like a staggered start, don't they, where you get like 3 issues for the first couple of boxes, and then it goes to 6. Darth Vader was 2 issues, 3 issues, 3 issues, 6 issues. Yeah, so that pushes it a little bit as well. It does take a while for it to really get started. We've got David Hawley who says a Voyager build would be great. I would do that. Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the moment I'm rewatching Voyager, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I would definitely do a Voyager. Yeah, definitely. I don't know though. Would you do it on a bigger scale than the Enterprise D? Because obviously Voyager was a lot smaller. I don't know. This is the scale thing, isn't it? So like lots of people like their stuff to be in scale. Yeah. Voyager would be
well, it's considerably smaller than the Galaxy class starship, so
yeah,
it would be tiny compared to it if they did it that scale wise. But it'd have to be quite big to justify the price.
On Voyager, compared to like the Enterprise D, they had quite a lot of open windows where you could actually see the scenery behind the windows. So if they did that, that would be really nice to do.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Peering through a window and seeing it all. But yeah, I'd definitely do a Voyager. That would be really interesting to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm still really enjoying the Enterprise D build. So just hope they do the electrics differently.
I've just got to, obviously, I've got to wait because I'm one of those people that have got to wait until September to start that up again.
Yeah.
So,
tell you one thing though, if you're into Voyager, cosmic scale models, they have got the 3D printed of the crew for Voyager.
they also do a shuttle as well.
Yeah.
And a shuttle resin model. It's really nice.
So yeah, if you go to cosmic scale models, you can actually, you have to paint them obviously, but you can actually get the crew for Voyager. So that's really interesting.
That's worth it.
Ian says, hit the thumbs up, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, yes, please.
Please put the thumbs up. Steve Edmonds says, if they re-release the X-Wing, I would have to get that.
It's one of those ones they've never re-released. It's like they've re-released a lot of other stuff, but not the X-Wing.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised about because it's, like I said, they re-released everything else. But not the X-Wing, though the X-Wing did have a few problems.
Oh, right. The X-Wing problems. Okay, we'll just scrub the detail never being shown on it. So the panel's not lining up. They're not sticking properly. Things not working on the electric side of it. The wings not moving, not lining properly. Yeah, there was quite a few on the X-Wing. So, and I did do that, but yeah.
Where is it?
My X-Wing's downstairs.
Oh, right, okay.
Ian says, Kev, we need to sort out a meetup. I've not forgot.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Will's Workshop says, I'm currently assembling and adding decals to a 148 F1 5DJ. Says that now? I'm not too sure. Yeah. Spider Spruce says, got the SAS Jeep in the autumn.
Yeah, that one comes out.
Yeah. That's a Gorda, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
The desert one. Steve Edmonds says, and probably Thunderbird 2 as well. Yeah, I think I would be doing that. I'd love to.
Yeah, the Thunderbird 2 is an old D'Agostini one. Maybe they've stopped doing that one. I don't know, but maybe they can't get the license for it anymore. But maybe it did do very well. I don't know with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have done that. But that's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very, very old build. That
yeah, I don't know.
Model Space, one of the original Model Space ones, I think.
I don't even think anything like that would come from what was Model Space, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was a few builds on Model Space that just haven't returned. They did the camper, but that was popular anyway, and they did the Rossi. Yeah, they did a Mercedes, didn't they, as well? Yeah. SL with the Gull Wings. I remember them doing that one. There was quite a few that they ended up doing. Yeah. We won't mention the M1, the plane. No. We won't mention that one. No. But they did that as well. But then that will probably not come out close or anything. They did. I mean, I'm surprised they've not done the H2. The Hummer, because they did that as a remote control. Yeah, I've got it. And you got it as well, but they've never re-released that. I'm surprised. But if I remember correctly, at the time that was they partnered up with the company that did all the motor, the nitro engine. Right, okay. Because they did that with the Red Bull and they did that with the Hummer, so I don't know if they have that partnership anymore. Right. So I do know they were in partnership with the people that made the engine for it and all the internals. So
Right.
Burgess says Ferrari 499p, 2 times Le Mans winner would be a great build.
Yeah. I think they're quite good when they bring out a Ferrari. They seem to sell quite well.
Yeah. Kevin and Mary, who says, "Evening, everyone. Good evening, Kevin and Mary. Welcome."
Mary, welcome. Wonder whatever happened to that company that brought out the Ferrari. Do you remember?
The transporter or?
Well, they did do the transporter in Italy, but it never come out over here. But they also did the Ferrari. I can't remember which Ferrari they did. Do you remember it was over lockdown and lots of people got a bit upset with them? Panini.
F40.
Yeah, do you remember the Panini?
Yeah. Yes, the Ferrari.
Whatever
F40.
happened to them? Whatever happened to?
I think they went back to doing stickers and books.
Oh, okay. They had enough with.
No, I think that was an absolute nightmare because people were they subscribed to it and they just weren't getting any parts in lockdown whatsoever.
Yeah,
and a lot of people like, no, not doing it. So some people did finish theirs, but yeah, I remember there was I'm talking about 6 or 8 month delay. Yeah,
I remember they did do another build, didn't they? I think they brought out 2 Partworks, and then that was it. I know they're quite big in Italy because they did the transporter over there, the Ferrari transporter. Yeah. They've never released anything else, have they? Here, it's a bit strange.
No. We've got Jason from Cadnola Building who says hello all. Hello, Jason. Welcome.
Hi, Jason. Welcome.
Dave Matt Bill says, hope he makes a quick recovery, Mark. Yeah. It's not been great. Will's Workshop says, I need to contact Wayne to organise dates as I'm up at end of July. Oh, I think that's actually to Ian, that one. So I haven't started any of these, so let me have a look. Oh, right. So Ian says, for those wondering, Esther had the embroidery machine offers, the one that we didn't sell.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's been sold. So
that's brilliant. So everything's been sold then?
I think
apart from the Marvel figures, was it? Or
it was them Ghostbusters figures.
The Ghostbusters stuff. Yeah, that was it.
It was them that didn't say that didn't sell.
No.
Spider Spruce says the Ford Falcon is now available in Germany.
Lovely. Yeah, I know it came available in France, but in Germany as well. So that's good. So it's all coming out. Yeah.
Steve Edmonds says the 66 Batmobile. I think there are 6 packs remaining.
You might be right. I might have just calculated it wrong.
Yeah.
I know if you do 120, which I think it's 110 issues, isn't it?
Will actually Don's Modern Making says 66 Batmobile is 120 issues.
Right. Okay. So that's 20 packs. But you don't get the first. I think the first pack you get just 2, don't you?
Mm.
So I think there's 21 packs.
Yeah.
So you're right. I've got it wrong. I was trying to calculate it all together because I was trying to go through what builds I were finishing.
Right.
And I knew that one was this year. I knew it was close, but I must have miscounted. So that was my fault.
Yeah. Okay. Stephen Haynes Model says, Mark, have you heard from Harshett Lancaster about the replacement for the landing bay? I know they're on it, but that's as much as I know. I don't know when it's going to come or anything. So, yeah. But I won't be displaying mine with the landing gear down because it's in flight. So,
yeah,
for me, it's not a problem. If they don't work, it'd be nice if they work. But if they don't work, my landing gear will be up anyway. So I'm not displaying it down.
Yeah, it depends on how you're gonna, like you're saying, how you're gonna display it. Yeah. I don't know why you'd want the landing gear down anyway where it is.
Yeah.
It's great that they offer these little things, but it's whether or not you're going to use that very often, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We've got Glenn Needham who says, "Evening, Mark and Kev." Good evening, Glenn. Welcome.
Evening.
Welcome to the stream. John's Model Making says, "What do you think about the Orca build?" I mean, I love ships, but I'm not a huge fan of Jaws, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for me, it's not. I like Jaws. It's probably the best shark movie still out there. It's still relevant. It's still a great film to watch.
It's a classic. It's a classic film, but
yeah, it's not one of those films that has dated very badly. It's dated fine, but yeah, I'm not a massive fan where I'm going to put down money on the Orca build.
Yeah,
it's just not. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's some things have to be proper on to start doing stuff.
For me, I'm not passing judgment until I see what it's going to be like.
Well,
all we know is we're getting an Orca build and the length of it. I won't say anything on it until I see what it's going to be like, what features it's got.
And it does say does it say die cast as well?
Yeah. So I'm not going to pass judgment until I start seeing what it's going to be like. I think to say yes or no to something now, it may come out and be absolutely fantastic, and you think, wow, yeah, that is definitely a build to do. But at the moment, without seeing any pictures or any videos of the build, I can't really say. So and we don't know how they're going to do the wood on it, whether it's going to be plastic panels or anything. So yeah, it's too early to say.
It's far too early, I think, to sort of be thinking about. I know there were some people that are just going to buy it, whatever, and that's fine. But like yourself, you need to know what it's going to be like and everything else. So
for me, I'll decide when I see it. That it's like everything, you know. Until the website goes live and you can see it in its flesh, I can't really say whether it's for me or not until I see it a whole lot. So just wait and see from Agora, I suppose.
For me, it's not a build for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah.
Burgess says, I grew up on Voyager and DS9, so those would tempt me slightly.
Yeah.
I think DS9 would be a little bit boring because you'd be doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, you got pylons and docking bays, and they would all be the same.
Yeah.
So,
having a Voyager that landed as well, so you can have the landing struts come out, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. If they did a build, they would have to include that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they include the saucer separating from the Enterprise D, they've got to make sure Voyager lands.
Yes, definitely.
Because that would be an awesome diorama to do. Voyager landed on terrain.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that would be really good.
Yeah.
We've got Chef Hawking who says, evening all and chat. Good evening, Chef Hawk. Welcome.
Hi, Chef Hawk. Welcome.
Ian's World of Model says, the Shuttle 9 is a nice build. I have made this from Keith at Cosmic Scale Models. So is that
that's the Voyager shuttle. That's really nice. Really nice.
Yeah. Andy Carroll says, how about the
ship from Aliens? Yeah, or the other two ones as well. They would be good. The drop ship or anything from Aliens. The Alien thing's building up. You've got a TV series coming out, so there's always potential for them to do that. We'll have to see what comes. On where licensing's go and what they can sell and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ian says the M1 MiG-29 LOL.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I didn't want to say it. No, it triggers bad memories.
Yeah, God, you only have to say a few things, and it does trigger bad memories of models.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian says, I would have loved to have finished the MiG. I think it would have been a nice build.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a shame. Ian says, shame Wayne didn't bite on the night, guys. Sorry. Hey, fine, Ian. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem at all.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Right. Will's Workshop says, I have a spreadsheet that tracks build progress and projected end date. Annoyingly, I think the Batmobile will miss the Telford show. That's a shame.
Yeah, definitely. If those dates are right, September. Well, it'd be October, November time. So yeah, it would. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Be very close. But
I mean, some people do take work in progresses, don't they?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure you would take it as a work in progress.
Yeah.
Ian says that would be a shame, Will.
Yeah.
And then Will says, I still have the Skyline as a new build and the massive diorama for Agora.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I actually I don't think I could take my work to a model show because I think I'd just be I don't know,
worried someone's going to break it or it be broken on the way. Yeah.
No, just probably critiqued that much. If you know what I mean. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I get really anxiety about what people think about things and stuff. So I just don't know. Yeah. Will's Workshop says, missed out, commission, guys. LOL.
Yeah.
Burgess says this. Oh gosh, Sevastopol from the Alien Isolation game would be bonkers.
Yeah. I think that's the ship in the game.
Yeah.
It's really weird because they're now branching off into games because they're doing the Lynch King, and obviously that's from a game. So at this point, it sort of opens up more. If they're doing stuff from games, could we get ships or other figures from games? Or you know what I mean?
The only thing which I think would be probably huge would be if they got the license for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
that would be mental.
I still think that all these Partworks are doing these great stuff, and we've got all these planes and boats and all this, but we still haven't got a train. I still can't understand that. They haven't done a modern version of any train. And it's like you're missing a big market there, a massive market.
IXO do one, and they did one in Germany, but no, we haven't seen one here in the UK.
Yeah, that's a German train. What we want is an English one, Scotsman, Mallard, ones like that, or as everyone wants, the Hogwarts Express.
Oh, don't say that. Oh, not
so.
That's the most just about. Will that model be coming out?
No. But they've just done all these other ones, but they're missing out on like a huge market with doing trains. I mean, there's some people who don't do Partworks, but would do, say the Flying Scotsman or the Mallard or something, would jump at the chance. I just think they're missing a little bit of a beat when they're sort of like doing these other things.
I do think that that the problem is I think Hornby hold a lot of the licensing for certain trains like that.
I don't know. It's a difficult one. I've always wondered with Hornby how they go about deciding the levy that they choose. I've always wondered that. Is that a licensing thing, or do they just say, "Oh, we'll just do, 6 out of the 8 levies that they do on this train"?
Yeah.
Miss out the other ones. I don't know how it works with like doing the different levies, because especially when they do older ones like Network Rail and BR and stuff like that, they're not around anymore, so I don't know how they get around that. They just make it or what?
Depends. I mean, it also depends on what the modelling it off as well. So if you're going like with a Mallard, you really are going to have to be in conjunction with, say, the National Railway Museum.
Definitely, yeah.
And they might turn around and say, no. So, yeah.
I'm surprised that they would say that, because they would like something like that. But I just find it's just bizarre that we're doing all these other stuff and they haven't tapped into like the British train market.
Well, you know what happens though if you start building a train? You get leaves on the line, you get delays and everything else like that.
Yeah. You start building half of it, and then you start building a bus as well.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, you're going to get delays, because if you can get delays in real life on trains, you're definitely getting delays in a Partwork doing that.
Yeah.
Will's Workshop says, got some good ideas sometimes, stood on the other side of the model table. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I get very bad anxiety about being judged and stuff. And then he also says, I think we need a 1/8 train for the DeLorean. Could you imagine the size of a 1/8 train for the DeLorean?
There is one. I've seen it. It's at the TV and Sci-Fi Museum in Milton Keynes. And they've actually got the Eagle Moss DeLorean on its tracks, and behind it someone's done the train.
Jules Verne train.
Yeah. Which it has its wings out at the side and the booster, the tender on the back as the booster. And I'm like, well, someone's obviously built. It looks like what's happened is someone's got the train, modded it, and then put the Eagle Moss DeLorean in front of it, and then put it in this purpose-built display case. But you can actually go and see that if you want. It's at the Film and TV Sci-Fi Museum in Milton Keynes. But there is a 1/8 scale version of it. So
the problem is movie accuracy. So if it was the Jules Verne train, you'd have to have a crashed up DeLorean in front of it in pieces.
Well, yeah. Oh, well. I mean, do you put? I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I mean, do you have it as the normal train, or do you have it as the flying one? And if you do, there must be something for it to rise up and the wheels go under.
I think the logistics on that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, but Ian said the 1885 Triang would be nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think people go, well, Jules Verne train never pushed a DeLorean because it didn't, because it was smashed up in front of it. But it was weird. It sort of came along on tracks and then just flew off. Why didn't it come in flying? I don't really understood that, but yeah. Well, I think that was to symbolise the end of the first movie.
Where he flies off?
Yes.
Like in the at the end of the first one, yeah.
I think that was to do with it, but Will's Workshop says, just editing my Mallard video for tomorrow. 10 issues left till completion.
Nice.
Burgess says, I'd build a Union Pacific big boy in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's the big American train. That would be popular there, but I think the problem is doing like the Flying Scotsman for instance. It's a bit like the Route Master and the Eddie Stobart truck. It's quite British.
Yeah,
I know it done a tour around the world. They took it to America and Australia and places like that. But I think really it's more of a British train. It's really difficult to do trains and buses because of different countries have different versions and designs and all that sort of stuff. So it's difficult to bring out and judge what's going to be good. So I think there's that to it. But yeah.
John's Model Making says, night all. Night, John. Thank you for coming by. Andy Carroll says, I had the opportunity to stand in the Flying Scotsman in Steam in early 70s when it was at Dinting Rail Museum near Glossop. It's no longer there, closed in the 90s. I used to actually be a member of the 4472 club when it was that number 4472. So I've been on the footplate of that. It's amazing, honestly, astounding, the engineering.
Yeah, when you look at a lot of these locos up close and you've got all the rods in place and all the piston and you just think, this is like looking at it, you go, this is like, where does that pipe go? Where's that go? It's just a bit of a mess because it all just goes off and it all just works. But yeah, the way that they've been built and restored is just it's great that they're still restored, because it's otherwise it would be a lost era. Really, it'd be lost. So, yeah.
Burgess says Union Pacific even sells plans online.
Oh wow.
Will's Workshop said Mallard and Scotsman for me have been delayed by 10 years. LOL. Still waiting on the platform.
Yeah, they I mean, that when they come out, did they sell very well? It's really bizarre that they've done those two builds quite close together when they were first released, and they also, like I said, Hachette also did the model railway build as well, didn't they? They did one where you built a whole train set. They gave you everything.
My First Railway or something.
I think that's what it was called, yeah. And it gave you everything except the loco. So you got the carriages, you got the scenery, you got all the buildings. You just didn't get a loco. I think you had to. I think they either sold it separately, or you could just get one from Hornby or somewhere like that. But yeah, they've never done that again.
Spiders Bruce says, with the tech that I'm putting into my Partwork train, I don't understand why there are brick trains.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Jason says, have a good day, my friends. Hope to see you all on the tube. So good night, Jason. Thank you for stopping by.
Jason.
And Ian says, Kevin Mark, in a month or so, I'll need you to auction off a couple of full builds. Wow.
Hey, lovely.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that again.
Yeah, definitely.
Spice Bruce says, I have finished some smoke generators for my train.
Does it come with smoke generators already? Because I think the one in Germany has the smoke and the light in the firebox as well. I think it all sort of lights up and puffs around.
As far as I'm aware, the smoke generators that they're using in that train in Germany is the same as the smoke generators that were in the Titanic.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, actually. I think they use a very similar one now, because the technology has gone so, it's massive, right? So the Hornby trains that you can buy now, they're called Stay Alive. Have you seen these? So you effectively, they have a smoke in them, little generator, just like with the Titanic, so smoke. But when you pick them up, they still run. They're sort of inbuilt, and they're called Stay Alives, where you can take it off the track and still run it, like with no track. And I think the technology has just gone like mind blowing. You know, it's got the little sound generator in it. It's got the decoders and all of that sort of stuff in something so small. You kind of go, wow,
crazy.
Yeah.
Will's Workshop says, I have stood on the footplate of the 6 surviving A4s when York National Railway Museum had the Great Gathering.
Yeah. I don't know. They haven't done that for a while now.
No, I mean, I know the currently some parts of the museum are closed because they're redoing the roof.
I know the A4. I think the Mallard is actually in the museum, isn't it? Still,
the Mallard, yes, is still in the museum, but
so I don't know whether they rolled it out, because I know sometimes they put them on tour, don't they?
I don't think the Mallard's been rolled out in a long time.
Yeah.
So I think if for the Mallard to be rolled out, the last time I saw it a couple of years ago, it'd need a lot of restoration work.
What was it? What's the one that they use? Is it Greenie King or something? I think one of them is called the Greenie King. There's a few around. But there's also, you got to think, there's also the bigger locos as well, like the Duchess as well. That one's around. So there's loads of them about. But I just think it's a bit of a shame that these Partwork companies have sort of not touched on it, sort of thing.
It is, but it just like we always say on this show, it depends on licensing and whether because you mean we think, well, they've got to 3D scan it, they've got to then produce it. Are they going to be allowed to do it? And
it's we were saying about Partworks coming out and what we would do. I would definitely jump on if there was a British loco build. I'd get that in a heartbeat as well.
Spider Spruce says I needed smoke oil for it.
Oh, right, okay.
Will says Mallard does not currently have a boiler certificate, but it's in need of a few other parts. Maybe one day. Yeah, it does need.
Yeah, they normally have like a preservation society that normally funds that sort of stuff.
It would need a few years of work, I think, to get the Mallard back up and running to be in service. But normally, you know, you've only got a couple of guys working on it in restoring it, so it does take a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen all the documentaries about the Flying Scotsman and what it takes to keep it running and putting it on National Railway and stuff like that? It's absolutely mind blowing, especially all the stuff they got to get certificates and stuff fitted in it and then run it. And then, I mean, it's gone through quite a few owners as well, because it doesn't make any money. It just sort of hemorrhages money. And they've always wanted to make money. It's never made any money.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Ian's Well the Model says, good night to all, chat. See you all next week. Good night, Ian. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Ian Campbell says, I'm dropping off. Great stream, guys. See you all soon. Night, Ian. Thank you for
coming Ian. By. Thanks for coming.
Burgess says, 100% of the old steam trains in Iceland are on display in a museum. So non-running in Iceland. All two of them.
Yeah.
Says so. Andy Carroll says, well, guys, it's that time again. Mark, I hope you sun gets better soon. Stay safe. See you guys same time next week. Good night. Thumbs up and like and subscribe. So good night, Andy. Thank you.
Cheers, Andy.
Your well wishes for Oliver. Will's Workshop says, took ages to get Scotsman up to code. To be fair, it's had that many new parts. You may as well call it, Triggers Broom.
Yeah. It goes, I've had this broom. What is it? I've had this broom 20 years. It goes, I've changed the handle 15 times and the brush head 8 times. It's not the same broom.
And Dave Matt Bill says, been a great stream tonight, guys.
Cheers. Cheers, Dave.
I've caught up with chat, actually. It's been nice.
Oh, lovely.
Because we didn't have much chat last week.
Well, not only that, we didn't have much to chat about this week, and we've done quite well. So, we're getting there. Maybe the same next week, or maybe we can discuss something. You know, the tumbler's finishing. It's got another issue to go. I was just thinking I might not put the roof mechanism on at all, because looking at it, it doesn't look very. I don't know if it's going to come very good. Well, we'll see. We'll see when it comes. But yeah.
Ian says, "Oh, happy Ghostbusters Day."
Happy Ghostbusters Day, everyone.
I did not know that.
No.
And David Hawley says, cracking video again, guys. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Thank you, David.
Yes, Dave.
So, Kev, anything this week coming up with you?
Hopefully, we're hoping to get the Snoopy out.
Right.
I'm an iron about putting some more Skyline out. I might just do it. I don't know yet, because we're waiting for the new parts to come. So I don't know. I might just carry on with that. But I'm waiting for Optimus Prime. So as soon as that turns up, I'll be doing that. And then obviously, the Dalek and the normal ones. So
2 weeks to go on Tumblr.
Only 2 weeks. Yeah. This Wednesday, next Wednesday, and that's it. It's all over.
Wow. Going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Will's Workshop says, another great stream, guys. No live stream for me this week as I'm off to London. Might have something new for the following week, though. Sounds interesting.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So for me this week, normal videos, normal days. I've managed to get them done. So, thank goodness.
Brilliant.
After the weekend I've had from absolute hell. Not easy, but So I think we'll leave it there tonight. A little bit early, but been fantastic, guys. Thank you for your chat as always. I've actually read out 86 chat messages tonight.
Oh, wow.
That's quite good.
You've done well.
Yeah, thank you. 86. Started everyone I've read out. So, So thank you for your chat as always. Thank you for stopping by. We'll be back same time, same place next week as always. So just leaves me to say, I've been Mark.
And I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you all next week, guys. Bye.
Good night.